everyone, welcome to another episode of My Opinions and Verbal Diarrhea. Today I'm going to talk about trade show, specifically audio trade show. Recently I have been asked and somehow told to go to more trade show, and why don't you go to this trade show and that trade show. And before I tell you my conclusion, I want to tell you my decision is based on my experience from way back in 1992. Because when 1992 was my first year to went to a trade show, we are in Toronto area, in Cape, Ontario. It's about an hour and a half away from Toronto, and I have working for a local dealer back then part-time, and he was kind enough to give me a space for me to display my first preamp called a BC1 on at the Toronto show. I can't even remember what name that show was, but anyway, that was 1992, and I didn't pay for that show, but thank you for Mark for letting me have that space. And 2 years later, in 1994, it was a Toronto show again, and I paid for half the room, and that was my first official paid show. And I shared with a speaker manufacturer, and that was the first time that we got the show report. And then after that, it was 1996 all the way to 2006, for the total of 11 years. They were the CES time in Las Vegas. And within that 11 years, we have done every one show in Las Vegas every year, and I have also been in several Montreal shows, a couple of Toronto shows. Toronto show was on and off back then. It's never have a continuous more than 2-3 years. So we have been in Toronto show, several of the Montreal show, and also a Vancouver show, because I think there was the show organizer between Toronto and Vancouver. They switched between a couple of years, and that was all the way to 2006 when CES was moved out from Alexis Park, and they started to pay less and less attention to two-channel audio, and they moved to a Venetian expo hall. There was sand. And they put all the two-channel into a big hall with flimsy wall, and then I decided I didn't want to go. They improved a bit to after a couple of years of a lot of people are expressing their opinion about the flimsy wall, and they move up to the hotel room in the Venetian. But I still didn't go, because the purpose of going to show back then was getting exposure. It's still, and it's the same today. But back then there wasn't any internet. Internet was in its infancy, and we were one of the very first audio manufacturers to have our own website in 1995. And so the trade show, magazine advertising was the main way to get our name out. And around the same time, late 90s and early 2000s, there were chat group, forum like Audio Asylum is still around, but that was one of the main one. Audio Gong was starting, and they have their own forum too. So in those areas, there's not much. Facebook didn't even start yet, so there were no social media. So trade show, magazine advertising, and internet forum were the main things to get our name out. So trade show was quite important, and trade show also get us show reports, and show reports is almost like telling the audio world that we're still alive. And having good show report is important. It's same still today. So after 2006, we stopped going to CES, and there were Rocky Mountain Audio Fest in Denver, Colorado. We went there several times, and at the same time when Rocky Mountain was winding down because of the owner's illness, there were many other shows happening. One of the shows was starting to happen when CES was in Alexis Park. I don't remember exactly how many years we were in Alexis Park before this show started. It's called the THE show, the home entertainment show, right beside Alexis Park. And they were dedicated in 2-channel audio. When CES was starting to distance themselves for 2-channel audio, it's all home theater and more gadget and computer stuff. So there was a lot of shows. There was like 1 or 2 shows going on, and then spin out to a lot of shows. And in the 2010 and after that, there were so many shows happening in North America. I'm just counting US and Canada. I'm sure there was a Mexico show in Mexico City, but let me count this. Right now, last year, in January there was a THE show in Las Vegas, the home entertainment show. In February, it's Florida International Audio Expo in Tampa. March, Montreal Audio Fest. April, Exponer in Chicago. Exponer was Jacksonville, Chicago for a few years, and they decided to stay in Chicago. June, THE show in Southern California. June again, Lone Star Audio in Dallas, Texas. September, Pacific Audio Fest, Seattle, Washington. October, Toronto Audio Fest, Toronto, Ontario. November, Capital Audio Fest, Washington, D.C. And if I miss any other shows, please feel free to put it in the comment, and I will respond. So we have this many shows going on right now, and now we also have social media. Social media is basically relatively free if you don't do advertising, and you can promote your name, you can carry your name out, and also YouTube has been a lot of help for us. So going to trade show is a lot of work, and we have because I'm a small company. Right now I'm a one-person company, and deciding to go to trade show is a lot of work. I have to plan what to bring to trade show, and most of the time I don't have demo equipment, so I gotta build demo equipment. I gotta break them in, make sure it works. Possible to be redundant, just in case. After this many years we never have to use the redundant, but just in case. And there's a lot of planning. If we go to show that's outside Toronto area, we gotta pack, we gotta ship 2-3 weeks in advance, and it will take another week to ship back. That's like 4 to 5 weeks out of equipment. Those equipments are tied up for 4 to 5 weeks. For a small company like me, we just can't afford it. Just cannot afford those equipments. Going out there, staying out there, and also I gotta take off at least a week. Like, show usually happen 2 to 3 days. Most of the show now is 3-day shows, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if I have to go to shows that outside Toronto area, we have to leave on Wednesday, be there on Wednesday night, and set up there on Thursday and get ready on Friday. And Sunday is closed down, and fly back or drive back on Monday. That's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 6 days. 6 days out of my work schedule. Mentally, I just don't know I can prepare for that, because a lot of packing, a lot of planning is not like Wednesday we start driving, we could pack Tuesday. It's like we pack in 3-4 weeks and plan in advance, and knowing what to bring, knowing what the rooms, where a lot of planning. I'm not going to waste any more time on this video to explain how much work. It's just a lot of work. It's for us, it's just not worth the effort to go into show. And also the main factor is if the room is about $3,000 to $4,000, and they have heating costs going to add on top and top and top, and usually end up with $5,000, and I'm talking about Canadian dollars. There might be shows that cost more than $5,000 Canadian dollars, equivalent to US dollars. And then again, if we can drive to the shows like Toronto, it's okay because I usually being cheap. I sleep in the room on the floor. It's not so much about I worry about the equipment get stolen. It's just like I don't want to pay for another hotel room. But if you're going to other show, you gotta buy a plane ticket to fly there, and possibly you gotta have a hotel room to stay, and all the food you need to eat, shipping for the equipment. Those are all costs, and a lot of times it end up costing more than the room itself. $5,000, another $5,000 to $6,000. That's $10,000 per show. How many shows can I afford to go? I can't even afford to go for more than 2 or 3 a year. It takes my time away to build stuff. Building stuff makes me money. Going to shows promotes me. And the main purpose of going to show is promote yourself and make more money, right? Lack of the better words, make more money, get more business. But if I can be on social media, spread out the time of the day, well, I might spend about 30 minutes to an hour per day, but I spread them out in 10 hours or 12 hours. It's a lot easier to take than concentrated all 3 days or 5 days, 6 days in one show. I spread out the whole hours in 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. I get a lot more response. We literally get response by YouTube video. But we don't get response directly from trade show. Now, I'm not saying trade show is not useful, but having trade show, just go to trade show and not having other advertising venue to back it up, like reviews, advertising in magazine, and possibly have a lot of talk on forum back then. Right now, it's just social media, Facebook, YouTube, maybe Instagram. I am mainly on Facebook and YouTube. I've been told by many people it's better to have a good presence and work well on 1 or 2 platforms than weak on many platforms. So I'm staying on Facebook and YouTube. I'm just a one-person band. I can't play that instrument at the same time. So 2 platforms is plenty for me. I cross a little bit on Instagram, but Instagram is not my main thing. So back to how do we see trade show? My conclusion is, right now, trade show is not giving me the benefit that worth my effort and time, effort, and money to put in there. There's one exception. Since we're in Innico, Ontario, going to Toronto Audio Fest is almost just 1 hour and 10 minutes drive, because they were in west end of Toronto, right at the airport. If the traffic is good, I can get there in 1 hour. Usually traffic's bad anyway. So going to Toronto Audio Fest is possible, but I'm not going to even say this every year, because we are small potato. It's better to be a small fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond, because relatively we are bigger fish in a small pond. And if I have anything interesting to show, I will probably go in Toronto Audio Fest, and we don't necessarily have to decide until June or July, because the Audio Fest is in October. We can decide in June or July whether we have anything interesting enough to show that. So right now it's February 2024. I can't tell you whether we're going to Toronto show this year or not, because we don't know we have anything interesting enough to show. We don't want to show in just another black box or silver box. There's too many of them already. So I want to show something that's different than everybody else in appearances and technology-wise or technical. Not that much new technology in audio anyway, so I'm not even going to lie to you. It is the execution and the newer technology in parts, how to use it, but anyway, that's another topic. So trade show for us is not beneficial enough for me to actually put effort in it, except one show. But social media is where we can spread our name across much faster, much wider. And we have went to so many trade shows. We don't have a lot of presence in overseas, just by being in YouTube and Facebook for the last 3 years, YouTube really about 9 months, we have a lot of overseas inquiry. Whether or not we can actually service them is another different topic. But we have lots of inquiry because we are on YouTube, just like me right now. And so the decision for trade show and my answer to those questions, why are we going to more trade show? I believe I just gave you a long, windy answer. But if I had to give you a short answer, are we going to more trade show? No. Then the long answer, you have to rewind this video to go back to the front and you can watch it again. So that's it for today. That's it for this video. So until next time, bye!